The morning sun cast long shadows across the empty streets of the small town when Maya first noticed the dog. She was a golden retriever mix, her coat matted and dirty, ribs showing through her thin frame. The dog moved with purpose despite her obvious hunger and exhaustion, dragging something behind her with gentle care. Maya had been walking to school when she stopped at the corner, watching this unusual sight unfold. The dog was pulling her injured puppy by the scruff of his neck, the way mother dogs carry their babies. But this puppy was too big for that now, probably around 4 months old. His back leg hung at an odd angle, clearly broken, and he whimpered softly as his mother struggled to move him to safety. The mother dog's eyes darted around frantically, searching for something or someone. She had been wandering the streets for days, Maya would later learn, looking for help that never came. People had shooed her away from their doors, thrown stones at her when she tried to approach their yards. But she never gave up on her injured pup. Maya watched as the dog mother stopped near a group of children playing in a nearby park. The dog approached them carefully, her tail low but wagging hopefully. She dropped her puppy gently on the grass and looked up at the children with pleading eyes. But the children were afraid and ran away screaming about a mean dog. The rejection seemed to crush something inside the mother dog. She picked up her puppy again and continued her desperate search. Maya noticed how the dog's movements were becoming slower, weaker. She hadn't eaten in days, that much was clear. Yet every ounce of her remaining energy went toward caring for her injured baby. As Maya stood there watching, she felt something break inside her chest. This wasn't just any stray dog looking for food. This was a mother who had lost everything but refused to give up on her child. The determination in those tired brown eyes reminded Maya of her own mother, who worked 3 jobs just to keep their family together. Maya made a decision that would change everything. Instead of continuing to school, she slowly approached the exhausted dog mother. She had no food with her, no way to help with the puppy's injury. But she had something else. She had compassion and the understanding that sometimes just being seen and not turned away can mean everything. The dog mother looked up at Maya with those same pleading eyes she had shown the other children. But this time, instead of running away, Maya knelt down slowly. She extended her hand, speaking in soft, gentle tones. The mother dog's tail gave a weak wag as if she sensed that finally, someone cared enough to stop and see their pain. Maya knew she couldn't solve this problem alone. She was just a 10-year-old girl with no money and no real power. But she also knew that walking away wasn't an option. Something about this mother's love for her injured pup touched a place deep in Maya's heart that she didn't even know existed. The dog mother seemed to understand that this child was different. She allowed Maya to come closer, to gently stroke her matted fur. For the first time in days, the mother dog let herself rest for just a moment, trusting that maybe, just maybe, help had finally arrived in the form of this kind-hearted little girl who didn't run away in fear. Maya's mind raced as she sat beside the exhausted mother dog and her injured puppy. School seemed unimportant now compared to the crisis unfolding before her eyes. The puppy's breathing was shallow, and his little body felt warm with fever when she gently touched his fur. Time was running out, and Maya knew it. She thought about her grandmother's house just 2 blocks away. Grandma Rosa had always been the one person in their family who never turned away anyone in need. She fed stray cats, helped homeless people, and always said that kindness was the most important thing a person could offer the world. If anyone would help, it would be Grandma Rosa. Maya stood up slowly, trying not to startle the protective mother dog. She spoke in the same soft voice she used with scared animals. "Come with me," she whispered. "I know someone who can help." The dog mother seemed to understand somehow. She carefully picked up her injured pup once again and followed Maya down the quiet street. The journey to Grandma Rosa's house took almost 30 minutes because they had to stop frequently. The mother dog was weak from hunger and exhaustion, and carrying her injured puppy was becoming more difficult with each step. Maya walked slowly beside them, offering encouraging words and gentle pats whenever the dog mother looked ready to give up. When they finally reached the small blue house with the rose garden, Maya's heart pounded with nervousness. What if Grandma Rosa said no? What if she was too busy or worried about the cost of helping? Maya had never asked for something this big before, but looking at the suffering mother dog, she knew she had to try. Grandma Rosa opened the door with flour on her apron, having been baking her famous cookies. Her eyes widened when she saw Maya standing there with two injured dogs instead of being at school. But before Maya could explain, Grandma Rosa saw the desperation in the mother dog's eyes and the critical condition of the little puppy. "Bring them inside quickly," Grandma Rosa said without hesitation. She had seen enough suffering in her 75 years to recognize an emergency when she saw one. Maya felt a wave of relief wash over her. She had been right to trust her grandmother's kind heart. Grandma Rosa cleared off her kitchen table and laid down soft blankets. The mother dog was hesitant at first, unsure about entering a human home. But Maya's gentle encouragement and the promise of help for her baby gave her courage. She carefully placed her injured puppy on the blankets and stepped back, watching anxiously. While Grandma Rosa examined the puppy with experienced hands, she sent Maya to call Dr. Martinez, the local veterinarian who had been treating Grandma Rosa's animals for 20 years. Maya's hands shook as she dialed the number, praying that the doctor would come quickly. Dr. Martinez listened to Maya's breathless explanation and promised to come right over. He could hear the urgency in the child's voice and had learned long ago that Grandma Rosa's emergency calls were always genuine. He gathered his medical supplies and headed to the little blue house, knowing that every minute counted. The mother dog never left her puppy's side, even when Grandma Rosa offered her food and water. She would take quick sips and hurried bites, but her eyes always returned to her baby. Maya watched this display of maternal love with growing admiration and a new understanding of what it meant to put someone else's needs before your own. Dr. Martinez arrived within 20 minutes, his veterinary bag in hand and concern etched on his weathered face. He had been treating animals for 30 years, but cases like this one always affected him deeply. The bond between the mother dog and her injured puppy was immediately apparent, and he could see the desperation in both their eyes. The examination revealed what everyone had feared. The puppy's leg was badly broken in multiple places, likely from being hit by a car. He was severely dehydrated, running a dangerous fever, and showing signs of internal injuries. Dr. Martinez worked quietly while the mother dog watched his every move, ready to protect her baby if needed. "This little one needs surgery immediately," Dr. Martinez told Maya and Grandma Rosa. "Without proper treatment, he won't survive the night." The words hung heavy in the air. Everyone knew that surgery meant expensive medical bills, something that none of them could easily afford. Maya felt her heart sink. She had brought these dogs to safety, but what good was safety if they couldn't get the help they needed? Grandma Rosa lived on a small pension, and Maya's family barely had enough money for their own needs. The crushing reality of their limitations seemed to make the situation hopeless. But Dr. Martinez had seen the love in that little girl's eyes when she called him. He had witnessed Grandma Rosa's immediate willingness to help these stranger dogs. And most powerfully, he had observed the unwavering devotion of a mother dog who had dragged her injured baby through the street searching for help. "I'll perform the surgery," Dr. Martinez announced quietly. "We can work out the payment later." Maya's eyes filled with tears of gratitude while Grandma Rosa nodded approvingly. She had always believed that the world contained more good people than bad ones, and Dr. Martinez had just proven her right again. The mother dog seemed to sense the shift in the room's energy. When Dr. Martinez gently lifted her puppy to take him to his clinic, she whined and tried to follow. Maya knelt down beside her and spoke softly, promising that her baby would be safe and that she would see him again soon. Grandma Rosa prepared a comfortable bed for the mother dog in her kitchen, complete with soft blankets and a bowl of nutritious food. But the dog barely touched the meal, instead positioning herself by the window where she could watch the street, waiting for any sign of her puppy's return. Maya stayed with the mother dog throughout the afternoon, skipping school entirely. She read to her from old storybooks, talked about her own life and dreams, and provided the comfort of gentle human companionship. The dog gradually began to trust this kind child who had shown up in her darkest hour. As evening approached, both Maya and the mother dog grew more anxious. The surgery had been going on for hours, and there had been no word from Dr. Martinez. Grandma Rosa made phone calls to check on the puppy's progress, but the receptionist could only say that the doctor was still working. The mother dog paced restlessly, her maternal instincts in overdrive. She would eat a few bites of food when Maya encouraged her, but her heart was clearly with her injured baby. Maya understood that feeling completely. She remembered when her little brother had been in the hospital, and how nothing else in the world had mattered except his recovery. When the phone finally rang at 8 o'clock that evening, all three of them froze. Grandma Rosa answered with shaking hands, while Maya held her breath and the mother dog seemed to sense the importance of this moment. The conversation was brief, and when Grandma Rosa hung up, her face was unreadable. "Dr. Martinez says the surgery went well," she announced softly. "The puppy is alive, but he'll need to stay at the clinic for several days to recover." Maya burst into tears of relief, while the mother dog's tail wagged weakly for the first time since they had arrived at the house. The next 3 days were the longest of the mother dog's life. Maya visited every morning before school and every afternoon when classes ended. She had named the mother dog Luna because of the way her golden fur caught the moonlight during their evening walks around Grandma Rosa's small yard. Luna refused to venture far from the house, as if she understood that staying close meant staying connected to her recovering puppy. She had finally begun eating regular meals, but Maya could see the worry in her eyes every time a car drove past or a phone rang. Every sound might bring news about her baby. Dr. Martinez called with daily updates. The puppy, whom Maya had named Star to match his mother's celestial name, was fighting bravely. His leg was healing in a cast and the internal injuries were responding to treatment, but he was still very weak and the doctor wanted to be certain he was strong enough before allowing visits. Maya spent hours talking to Luna about Star's progress. She wasn't sure how much the dog understood, but Luna's ears always perked up when Maya mentioned her puppy's name. The connection between this mother and child was unlike anything Maya had ever witnessed, and it made her think about the sacrifices her own mother made every single day. Grandma Rosa watched the growing bond between Maya and Luna with knowing eyes. She had seen her granddaughter mature in just a few days, learning lessons about responsibility, compassion, and the power of not giving up when someone you care about is in trouble. These were lessons that couldn't be taught in any classroom. On the 4th morning, Dr. Martinez called with the news they had all been waiting for. Star was strong enough for a short visit. Maya could barely contain her excitement as she shared the news with Luna, whose entire body seemed to vibrate with anticipation. For the first time since arriving at Grandma Rosa's house, Luna's tail wagged with genuine joy. The walk to Dr. Martinez's clinic took only 15 minutes, but it felt like hours to Maya and Luna. The mother dog pulled forward eagerly, somehow knowing that they were going to see her baby. Maya had to remind her several times to slow down, worried that Luna might hurt herself in her excitement. Dr. Martinez met them at the clinic door with a gentle smile. He led them to a quiet recovery room where Star was resting in a comfortable bed. The puppy was thin and weak, with his leg wrapped in a bright blue cast, but his eyes were bright and alert when he saw his mother approaching. The reunion was everything Maya had hoped it would be. Luna approached her puppy slowly, whining softly with relief and joy. She sniffed him carefully, checking every inch to make sure he was really okay. Star's tail wagged weakly, but his happiness was unmistakable as he nuzzled against his mother's face. Maya watched through tears as Luna gently licked Star's fur, the same way she had been cleaning him when Maya first found them on the street. The love between them was so pure and powerful that it filled the entire room with warmth. Dr. Martinez quietly wiped his own eyes, moved by the emotional reunion. "He's going to make a full recovery," Dr. Martinez told Maya. "His leg will heal completely, though he might always have a slight limp. But he's a fighter just like his mother." Maya felt a surge of pride as she looked at both dogs, amazed by their strength and resilience. The visit was necessarily short because Star still needed rest, but the impact was enormous. Luna's entire demeanor changed after seeing her puppy alive and healing. She began eating with appetite, playing gently in Grandma Rosa's yard, and even accepting affection from Maya and her grandmother, without the desperate worry that had consumed her before. Dr. Martinez explained that Star would need to stay at the clinic for another week, but then he could go home. Home. Maya realized that somewhere during these intense days, she had begun thinking of Grandma Rosa's house as home for Luna and Star. But she also knew that bigger decisions lay ahead, decisions that would determine the future for this brave little family. Maya's parents had been surprisingly understanding when they learned about her school absences and her new responsibilities with Luna. Her mother, Elena, came to visit Grandma Rosa's house and was immediately touched by Luna's story. Elena recognized something familiar in the mother dog's fierce protectiveness. It was the same love she felt for her own children. "We can't keep two dogs in our apartment," Elena said gently, seeing the hope in Maya's eyes. "But maybe we can help find them a good home together." Maya's heart sank a little, but she understood. Their small apartment was already crowded with her parents, Maya, and her two younger brothers. Adding two dogs would be impossible. Grandma Rosa had been thinking about the same problem. At 75, she loved having Luna's company, but she knew that caring for two active dogs might be too much for her. Still, the thought of separating this devoted mother and child seemed cruel after everything they had been through together. Dr. Martinez had an idea that would change everything. His longtime client, Mrs. Patterson, was a widow who lived alone on a small farm outside of town. She had recently lost her beloved dog and had been talking about wanting to adopt again. More importantly, she believed strongly that animal families should never be separated. Maya, Grandma Rosa, and Luna visited Mrs. Patterson's farm on a sunny Saturday morning. The older woman was in her 60s, with kind eyes and gentle hands that immediately put Luna at ease. She listened carefully to the whole story, asking questions about Luna's personality and Star's medical needs. The farm was perfect, acres of green space for running and playing, a comfortable farmhouse with plenty of room, and Mrs. Patterson's obvious love for animals. Luna seemed to sense the peaceful energy of the place. She explored the yard cautiously at first, then with growing confidence as she realized this might be a safe haven. "I've been lonely since my Charlie passed away," Mrs. Patterson admitted. "Having a mother dog and her puppy would fill this old house with life again. And after what they've been through, they deserve a place where they'll never have to worry about food or shelter or medical care." Maya felt a mixture of joy and sadness. Joy because Luna and Star would have a wonderful home together, and sadness because she wouldn't see them every day anymore. Luna seemed to understand Maya's conflicted feelings. She came over and rested her head on Maya's lap, as if to say thank you for everything. Dr. Martinez arranged for Star's release from the clinic directly to Mrs. Patterson's farm. Maya was there when the reunion happened in the sunny farmyard. Star was still weak and limping slightly, but his happiness at being with his mother in a safe place was obvious to everyone watching. Luna immediately began showing Star around their new home, introducing him to the smells and sounds of farm life. Star stayed close to his mother's side, but Maya could see his confidence growing with every passing hour. Mrs. Patterson had prepared a special bed for them in the warm kitchen, where they could rest together and feel secure. The transition was easier than anyone had expected. Luna seemed to understand that this was their permanent home, not another temporary stop. She began eating well, playing with Star when he felt strong enough, and accepting Mrs. Patterson's affection with growing trust. Star responded to the good food and medical care by gaining weight and strength every day. Maya visited every weekend, watching with amazement as both dogs blossomed in their new environment. Star's leg healed beautifully, leaving him with only the slightest limp that didn't slow him down at all. Luna regained the healthy weight and shiny coat of a well-cared-for dog, but the most beautiful change was in their eyes. The desperate worry and fear had been replaced by contentment and security. Luna no longer flinched when cars drove by or strangers approached. Star played with the confidence of a puppy who knew he was safe and loved. Mrs. Patterson sent regular photos and updates to Maya, Grandma Rosa, and Dr. Martinez. The pictures showed Luna and Star playing in the yard, sleeping peacefully in their kitchen bed, and following Mrs. Patterson around the farm like devoted companions. They had found not just a home, but a family. 6 months after that fateful morning when Maya first saw Luna dragging her injured puppy through the streets, everything had changed in the most beautiful way possible. Maya had grown from a child who simply felt sorry for animals into someone who understood the power of taking action when others needed help. Luna and Star had become the heart of Mrs. Patterson's farm. Star, now fully grown and healthy, had only a slight limp that never slowed him down. He raced through the fields with boundless energy, while Luna watched with the proud contentment of a mother whose child was thriving. The desperate, frightened dogs who had once wandered the streets searching for help were now confident, joyful animals who knew they were loved. Maya visited every Sunday, bringing homemade treats that Grandma Rosa helped her bake. She would spend hours playing with Star and walking with Luna, sharing stories about school and her dreams for the future. Luna always greeted Maya with special enthusiasm, as if she remembered that this was the child who had stopped, running away when everyone else had turned their backs. Mrs. Patterson had become more than just Luna and Star's caretaker. She had become Maya's honorary grandmother. She taught Maya about caring for animals, about the responsibility that comes with love, and about how helping others often helps heal our own hearts. The lonely widow had found purpose again in caring for her rescued family. Dr. Martinez often spoke about Luna and Star when training young veterinarians. Their story had become his favorite example of why veterinary medicine was about more than just treating sick animals. It was about preserving the bonds of love that make life meaningful. He never charged Mrs. Patterson for their ongoing care, considering it his contribution to a miracle. Grandma Rosa had started a small fund in her neighborhood to help other families afford emergency veterinary care. Luna and Star's story had inspired other people to contribute money and volunteer time to help animals in crisis. What had begun as one child's act of compassion had grown into a community-wide effort to make sure no animal family would have to suffer alone. Maya's own family had been changed by the experience too. Her parents talked more openly about the importance of helping others, even when it wasn't convenient or easy. Her younger brothers had learned that being brave sometimes means doing the right thing even when you're scared. The whole family had discovered that kindness was contagious. On the first anniversary of their rescue, Maya organized a small celebration at Mrs. Patterson's farm. Dr. Martinez came, along with Grandma Rosa and Maya's entire family. They watched Luna and Star play together in the sunny yard, completely at ease and radiantly healthy. Maya had written a school essay about the experience that won a district-wide contest. In it, she wrote about how Luna had taught her that love means never giving up on the people who matter to you, even when the situation seems hopeless. She wrote about learning that small acts of courage can change everything, and that sometimes the most important thing you can do is simply refuse to walk away. Luna seemed to understand that this gathering was special. She brought Maya her favorite toy, a rope that Mrs. Patterson had given her, and dropped it at Maya's feet. It was Luna's way of saying thank you, of showing that she hadn't forgotten the little girl who had seen her suffering and decided to help instead of looking away. As the sun set over Mrs. Patterson's farm that day, Maya sat with Luna and Star in the peaceful yard. She thought about how different all of their lives had become because of one moment of choice, the choice to stop and care instead of walking away. She realized that this was what growing up really meant, recognizing when someone needs help and finding the courage to provide it. Luna rested her head on Maya's shoulder as Star played nearby, and Maya knew that some bonds are so strong they last forever. She had saved Luna and Star, but in truth they had saved her too. They had shown her the person she wanted to become, someone who never walks away from love in need of rescue.